Here we have the 2009 Lexus ES 350, a car that is heavily based on the Toyota Camry. Today I'm going to show you around this car and I'm also going to give it a test ride, but before that, please don't forget to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more car reviews. First, let's start with the exterior of the car. Now, here in the front, it's very much Camry-like, but you got sharper lines over here. Your headlamps also look very much sharper. And you have your Lexus grille. And since this is the older Lexus one, you don't have one of those spindle grille that looks pretty ridiculously big. I do like them, but it's also nice that we got this classic look. Your L-shaped Lexus badge. And since this is a pre-facelift model, you still got these fog lamps over here. In the facelift one, they slightly tweaked that. And let's go on to the side of the car. This side of the car, again, it's very Camry looking, a bit sharper lines. In the Camry, this is a bit more curved right here. But for this one, it just looks pretty sharp. The Camry also has turn signal indicators here on the side. This one, it's just blank out. You got chrome all the way around this over here and across as well. And this being the pre-facelift, you also don't have the chrome trim running across here on this side. For your tires, you got 215/55/17s, and here at the back we got Toyo tires, original Toyo tires, and in the front we got some lesser known brand called Radar. As we move on over to the back, the line continues all the way here, and then the first thing you'll notice here at the back is these lights right here. So it's very much just L-shaped, Lexus L. But the this being the pre-facelift doesn't have LEDs yet, and you don't have the chrome L symbol over here. Moving on here, nice chrome trim, chrome Lexus badge, Lexus again, ES 350, 350 because it's a 3.5 liter. Opening it up, you won't find your opening up switch here, your opener. It's here actually on the side, so you press it here, this one lifts up. And inside the trunk, it's very spacious. However, you don't have 60/40 folding seats. You don't even have folding seats. Some Camrys, I think it was an option in Camry. So inside here, you can actually lift this one up and hook it over here so that it won't fall. And under that, you actually have a full-size spare tire, which is very rare these days. But 2009, the last remaining cars had that, and that's just nice to have. You got a complete set of tools, left and right. And as we just close that up, you'll notice that this cover is quite thin. I'd expect it to be a bit thicker for a luxury car, but that's all you have. To close this up, you have a handle over here. Oh, one thing is actually you have this emergency release, so in case you get locked in the trunk. Mandatory in the United States, I believe. So I opened up the hood of the Lexus ES. So the latch, I was looking for it in the middle, but apparently it's over here at the side. Once you lift that up, you're greeted with this Toyota, yes, it's a Toyota engine. 2GRFE 3.5 liter with 272 horsepower and 344 newton meters of torque. Now this engine is plenty powerful for a car of this size. The same engine they used in the Camry and the Alphard as well. Got a nice hood pad up the top, hood struts as well. And what the Lexus did with this car is they actually covered the engine bay with so much of these plastic to make it look cleaner. Usually it's just in the middle, right? But this one, they did that. You can access your battery over there, relay and the fuse, you just pull something. But if you want more access, you want to gain more access to this, for example, you're gonna stencil the car for transfer of ownership, which is what we did. You can actually just pop these clips out and they pop out and come out really well. Once they're out, it's pretty much just a Camry engine bay. Inside the Lexus ES 350, first thing you'll notice is just how soft these seats are. They're just incredibly soft. Anyway, let's go check the door thud. Sounds very good for a Japanese car. Let's go and start it up. It has push button and you just step on the brake and press here. As you notice, the steering wheel actually moves into position to the last position I set it in. It does that because as you exit the vehicle, as you turn it off, it actually moves out of the way for you so that you can easily egress the vehicle. Turn on the AC over here. Okay, now in here in the interior, aside from the plush leather seats, incredibly soft, you got nice soft touch dash all around. Not melting dash. It's not a melting dash unlike some Camrys. Air vents are pretty nice, a very solid feeling. The AC is actually dual zone climate control. You don't have any for the back, unfortunately, unlike some Camrys. Basic head unit. You don't even got Bluetooth in here, unlike the facelift model, but at least you got an aux cord outlet. You got nice wood all around. You know, in most cars, even if they're just a few years old, this one actually breaks the volume knob, but for this one, it actually still pretty works well. Cool thing, Lexus quality. Moving on, the steering wheel, nice and wooden at the top and the bottom, and on the side you got leather, cruise controls down here, multifunction, so you got your trip computer and your volume, all that good stuff. Here at the side, you got 2 power memory seat settings? Functions? Functions. Let's call it functions. And what's good thing about these seats is that they're actually 12-way power adjustable. So you even got the thigh support adjustment and lumbar adjustment. Unfortunately, for the passenger side, you don't get the thigh support. So it's only 10-way over there. Here, the power window switches, they're all automatic for all 4. More wood here, more soft touch. And what really makes this different from the Camry are just so small little bits of attention to detail that Lex put in it. For example, here in the cubby, it's actually lined with felt so that if you put stuff in here, it won't rattle. Next thing, LED lights, sunglass holder, automatic rear view mirror, and a sunroof, which is decently sized for this car. Moving down here, what's cool about this is you don't only get heated seats, which you get in most cars. This car actually comes with ventilated seats to keep your ass pretty cold. Okay, now for your center console, you press this one moves back, and it's actually quite deep in here, and your aux port is also there. You got this thing that's removable, put that back, and usually it would be hard to like close this, you gotta reach at the back, but apparently right here it says close. So Lexus thought of that. What do? Just pull this back and that closes back into place. More cubbies in this car. Over here, open this one up. You even got a divider, so if you don't want 2 cup holders, you can remove the divider, put larger items. This one, open this up, you got an ashtray, you can put coins in there, and your lighter socket, 12-volt socket. Here at the side, you got more cubbies. It's also lined with felt. Again, amazing Lexus. You got a button to push up, which opens up the shade at the back. Yeah, only you have that. Only you have that power as a driver. The passengers don't have that. Here, your last cubby is a decently sized glove box. It could be bigger, but I'm not complaining. More quality materials over here. As you can see, it feels like something like wool carpeting with a nice Lexus logo. It's a bit dirty now, but that's fine. More carpeting here as well. As you can see, this car only has 28,000 kilometers, all original of course. And as with most Lexuses, it has these very nice looking Optitron gauges, which look great even at night, or actually especially at night. Here at the back, the Lexus ES 350. First thing you'll notice here is just, again, the continuation of the nice materials out in the front. So again, same nice beige leather seats that are just so plush and soft. That's what you don't get with most German cars. Usually they're all firm and all supportive. For this one, you just like chill out back here. Now this one is set to my driving position. I'm around 5'6", I'm a bit on the shorter side, but I do have, look how much legroom I have. It's no S-Class level, but that's actually not bad. It actually has a cutout that seems to be a bit deeper than the Camry equivalent. So I do notice that this one has a little bit more legroom, probably an inch or 2 more than that. Map pockets, same thing at the side, wood, soft touch everywhere. Even this is a soft touch, this is incredibly soft. Then the speaker covers are also lined with the like cloth or felt material, so it's pretty soft as well. Here at the middle, if you sit in here, there's no hump because this is a front wheel drive car, so sitting in here, not a bad idea. Headroom might be a bit more limited for taller people's, but for me, it's totally fine. Moving back here, you don't have that much toys. You have an LED reading lamps, and that's pretty much it. But you pull this down, more supple leather. Open this up, and this one kind of like locks to the back. You got 2 cup holders, a nice big cubby that's also lined with felt. This is also removable. You can put it here at the back if you got smaller drinks, probably a Red Bull or alcohol bottle. They were thinking about 2020 already when they made this. Now, the issue here is that, how are you going to pull this cover back down? Well, Lexus thought of that. They actually put this small latch over here, which you pull and closes like that. You also got a space. You can put this down that way if you got golf clubs or ski items, which we don't have in the Philippines. You can run it through like that. Longer items in general. closes back, and this one as well. 2 air vents, no climate control. So driving the 2009 Lexus ES 350. The question is it just a Camry? Well, yes and no. Yes, because it shares the exact same engine, the same transmission, and the chassis. It's just a Camry with a different body, a different interior. But no, because it's just so much more plush in here. Now, these leather seats are extremely soft. You even got cooled seats. They're heated and cooled, which is pretty amazing. And just over here at the side, generally the materials are also soft. There's so much soft touch. Almost every single panel you touch in this car is either soft touch like leather, or, as I've heard reports say, real wood. Not plastic that looks like wood, real wood. For our North American viewers, you might be wondering why the Camrys in Asia look very different. That's because the Camrys in Asia and Australia, they're actually called the Toyota Orion. Well, I mean, we call it Camry, but that's actually the Toyota Orion. So it has like automatic reclining rear seats. You can adjust the shade from back there. You can adjust the climate control. This car doesn't have those. This car is more comparable to the North American Camry, where it's pretty much just bare over there. Now again, we compare this to the Camry, and is it more comfortable? It is, like, way more comfortable. The suspension feels just a little bit softer, but the NVH, the noise, vibration, and harshness, that has just been polished out extremely well in this one. If you're going at speed, it's a lot quieter. The noise insulation is way better. It's still not as good as something like an E-Class or a 5 Series, but it's pretty good. And one test I do to check that on how isolated you are from the outside world is the horn. So if I press the horn, you hear it, but it's not that loud, right? And that's the noise insulation test. In a 5 Series or a 3 Series, you'd hear the horn way less. In addition to the sheer comfort that you get with the suspension in this car, what makes longer journeys very, very pleasant in this car is the fact that you got these leather seats, which are, aside from being soft, they are also perforated. And the reason they're perforated is because this car not only has heated seats, it has cooled seats, and it has settings 1, 2, and 3, depending on how much you want to cool your tushy. So longer journeys, no problem. Summer day, no problem. We're doing like 40 degrees, which happens actually in Manila. No problem. You can just go and cruise along, won't get sweaty, and if you have a chauffeur, it's fine. Usually a lot of people would put some stuff on their seats for their chauffeur. That way if they sweat, it won't stick to the seats. But with this cooled seats, number one, it won't stick. And number two, your chauffeur is going to be a happier chauffeur. Although this is a mid-size car and you don't expect it to be fast, well, it has 272 horsepower and it's pretty good. So I'm going to put this car in S mode. And I'm just gonna pretty much floor it, and the rear sinks a lot. There's not much torque steer, and we're doing almost 100. And let's do that again over here. This car picks up. Oh God, yep, that is fast. That's 100. This car, for this price, you can't go wrong when it comes to acceleration. Now, this car is not exactly the best when it comes to handling. Like, there's just so much, it just boats around so much. There's so much body roll in this car. But that's fine, because this is not what this car is for. If you want a great handling sedan, you better get something like a BMW 5 Series. But if you just want to cruise around in the city, if you want to cruise on the highway, and you want to do it very comfortably, which is what the suspension in this car does, then this is exactly the car to get. Plus the fact that you can do all of that without all the headaches of European cars. Because again, this is pretty much just a Camry. So the parts are interchangeable, you can pick them up pretty cheap, and pretty much any workshop, any taller can work on this car. You don't even need to bring it to Lexus. Visibility around this car is pretty great. Again, it's basically a Camry. So you got A-pillars that are pretty thin. Of course, you got SRS airbags there. You got curtain airbags there. That's fine. So it does add a little bit into the thickness compared to older cars. But aside from that, it's pretty good, even out the back. You do have a shade, which you can just like press down there, and that thing goes up. What's good about that is once you put the car into reverse, it'll automatically go down. Anyway, I can also press it right here and it'll just close down like that. Parking this car is not a chore at all. It's not that wide. The lines outside, it's not extremely curved, so you can easily like maneuver it into tight spaces. And you have your reverse sensor. You don't have a reverse camera, but that's fine. The sensors are good enough. You even got sensors for the front as well. And what's good thing about this car is in most cars, in most luxury cars, the very moment you put the gear selector into reverse, the side mirrors actually turn down so you can see the curb more. But usually that's only for the passenger side, the right side. But in this car, oddly, as long as you put the side mirror selector to either the left position or the right position and not in the middle, both of the side mirrors for the driver and the passenger would both tilt down. So that's a cool touch. It's the only car so far that I've seen with that. Even BMWs and Mercedes-Benz don't have that. One more difference that this car has over the Camry is just quality control it has. Now, the Camry, the XV40 body, which this shares a platform with, actually had a lot of issues regarding the dash, especially here in the Philippines. The dash just tends to melt. And although Toyota had a recall for that, it's just nice to know that this car's dash is not melting. I've heard reports in the US where it's actually melting as well, and they also had a recall for it, but most of the ES I've seen here, as compared to most of the Camrys I've seen here, don't have melted dashboards. Aside from that, most Camrys of this era, this generation, it just tends to like creak. There's bound to be some sort of creak in the Camry somewhere in the cabin. It could be the dash plastics, it could be somewhere in the steering wheel, it could be on the seats, it could even be in the door cards. This one, cruising along so serenely, so smoothly, and I don't hear a single creak. Now, I've had a lot of Mercedes in the past and one BMW, and most of them in this generation, 2000, late 2000s to early 2010s, there's bound to be one thing at least that is wrong with it. Could be something as small as a switch, could be something as bad as a check engine light or a SAS, steering angle sensor error. But this car, 2009, at 28,000 kilometers at least, again, barely used, not a single thing is broken. Not a single thing, not a single switch. Just Lexus quality control. Probably the best in the world. That is why Lexus today is the #1 in terms of ranking for reliable vehicles. If you like this video, please don't forget to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more car reviews.